Oh, good evening, everybody. Welcome to 2Stupid4Web3. I am MassCWelcome. Joined with me is Shaktilyn. What is
Hey, everyone. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. For some reason, my audio cut out right as you were introducing me.
Oh, all right,
Hi,
cool.
everyone. Great to be here.
What is up? So, Too Stupid to Win is traveling this evening. So, me and Shaq took the reins and decided to come on and do a show for him. So, I'm sorry, just Too Stupid in advance for anything that happens here that he doesn't approve of, but we're going to do it anyway. So, Shaq, how are you? Congratulations on that new badge, by the way.
Thank you. I never ever thought I'd get a Mint Masters badge, and I'm so excited. It was just luck.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Let's see. So that was what, the largest property in Seattle? Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
good for you. That's cool.
Yes. For anyone that didn't hear the story, I was trying to go to Pike Place. That's where I wanted to mint. And about 10 minutes before the city opened, my block explorer took a hard turn. And so I had to make a plan B, and I decided that I was just going to mint whatever I was floating over when the city opened. And so that's what I did. And lo and behold, it was the biggest property in Seattle.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'd never get that lucky. Every time my block explorer takes a hard turn, I'm hard turning over some tiny something or other, and never in a collection, and always someplace where I never want to be. And yeah, that's just my luck, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I'm really excited about it. So now, even if it's not a collection, something good came from it.
Right? There you go. That's all you can count on. That's right. And we did get some collection reveals already today for Seattle, both Seattle and Vancouver. So I, of course, had my usual very poor performance in both cities minting, and did not even get a single collection property out of it yet. Still collections to come, but and I don't remember exactly how many collections were revealed today, but it was several streets and Pike Place and the Cole what is it? Cole something.
Cole Harbor, maybe?
Cole Harbor, yeah. Cole Harbor and Pike Place were the neighborhoods, and then a bunch of cities or a bunch of streets. So that was kind of cool.
Wasn't it all in Vancouver except for Pike
Place? Yeah, everything else was Vancouver. Yeah, so going to be interesting. I mean, the streets in Vancouver that were collections were very short availability for properties. I mean, I think one of the collections was actually in Cole Harbor, and I think it was a UR collection, and there was only 6 properties on the whole street, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was
oh wow, that's going to be really hard to fill that collection.
Right, especially since you need 3.
Right.
Yeah, there might have been 8. I could be wrong about that, but I went and counted them a little bit. I was like, man, this is crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
So that's got to be one of the smallest collections available, I think, as far as how many is actually there. So anyway, yeah, so we've got quite a bit to talk about this evening. A whole lot of announcements came out of Upland tonight or today and this week. So some surprising, some not so surprising, but there was a whole lot of stuff happening, which I was like, man, it seemed like every time you turned on Upland, there was another announcement that was going out.
Right?
I was just like, Shaq and I were talking earlier today, and I'm like, man, I'm going to have to go home and read just because I got to catch up on everything that was going on. It was funny because she was telling me about the construction hub, which I didn't even see yet. So I didn't even know it was open yet. And then literally 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, totem, we got to talk about totems too.
Oh my gosh.
And the totem announcement came out, and I was like, Shaq, you better get busy, man. You got some stuff to do.
Oh my gosh. What a nightmare. What a serious nightmare.
I know, right? Luckily, I don't have the totem problems that you have, but yeah, that's going to be it was a little unexpected, actually. I was not expecting a totem announcement to come out right now. But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, and so there's been some misinterpretation that I've seen out there, because a lot of people really kind of glommed on to this is the last totem cycle phrase, but it's not really that simple. So what Upland's doing is they're about to switch Protem into STEM. So that change is coming up. This is the last totem cycle that we will have with Protem. And then shortly after that, they're going to switch. They're going to exchange the Protem for STEM. And then they say that we might have more cycles with our totems. It just will be with STEM and not Protem.
Right. So. And I'm assuming that this is all gearing up towards life starting probably soon after, would be my guess. Once the changeover happens to STEM, I think we're going to see life very quickly after that start to pop up. So I think this is all just part of that changeover process.
Well, yeah, because remember, X1 said we're going to do planting and life in blossom season, and we're in the last 10 days of frost season. So okay, so we'll finish our totem cycle. The totems will finish right like a couple of weeks after blossom season starts.
Right. So right now, because right now you have starting today, you have 5 days from today to activate your totems, and then they are in cycle for 30 days. So we're going to have about 20 days of cycles still left in blossom when it starts. So roughly half of blossom season will be through the activation. So you have until March 10th to activate your totems. So, and then get them going. So I know that, Shaq's got a ton of totems. I know there's a couple of people out there that have just tons of totems. So
T-Will.
I was going to say, that's who I was going to say too. And, I'm sure that everybody that has that stable of totems was probably really freaked out by that announcement today. Just to knowing that, how much work it is to do totems, getting ready for all of that stuff. That was a huge announcement today, in my opinion. Probably one of the biggest ones, just because of what's going on. Of course, they have the UpX bundles that you can get in the store that come with Protem, and they're basically saying that you buy some UpX, you get some free Protem. So these are the $10, $50, $100 bundles that come with Protem. So anybody that needs to top off that Protem to get those totems fed before the end of the cycle, better do it now, because those will go quick once people start activating their hundreds of totems that they have out there.
Some people are out there buying totems for the first time, right? And I've seen new totem owners tend to underestimate how much Protem they're going to need. And so, yes, I emphasize, if you're a new totem owner, you're going to probably need more Protem than you think you are.
Yes. So, especially if you have some of the higher end totems, the gold, some of the greens take a lot of Protem. So, I know most of the golds are 100 plus every day. So, the return is great. Don't get me wrong. You do get the return, but just to start them out, I have 4 gold and I think 5 green, and just to get them started is like 3,000 protum.
Right.
So
yeah, definitely. I always go many thousands of protum down before my collection becomes profitable.
Yeah, before you start seeing returns, and especially if you've got some of the funky ones like the sharks that don't give you returns until the very end of the cycle.
Right.
You know, you're just feeding them and feeding them and feeding them, and you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. You know, so yeah, it certainly is an interesting situation. And I was pretty shocked by the announcement today, as I'm sure you were as well. But
oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, you know, I didn't see the announcement. What I saw was in our totem channel in the Creedmoor server. I saw somebody asking for instructions how to care for their totem. And I was like, why are they asking? So I went to look at my totems and it said in cycle, not yet activated. And I was like, what?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question, Swirly. Just because of the little hints that they dropped in today's announcement saying that it's probably not the last cycle for totems themselves, but after this the cycles will be with stem instead of protem. I assume that it's going to mean that there'll be cycles forthcoming just because of that reason, that they need to, you know, you're going to have a way to feed your plants. So yeah, I think that will be one of them, other than obviously buying stem, but we'll see where that goes. But yeah, that's a very interesting point. And then let's see, we had a lot of challenges that started up this week. We had the Frost Season Ornament Challenge that started, and some new rules to this as we go on. So I don't normally participate in the ornament challenges just because, well, number one, I don't have that many ornaments. I mean, I have them, but I don't have enough to compete with, you know, some of these folks that have thousands of them, namely Shaktilyn. But but yeah, this started March 4th. It runs through March 11th. They're looking to transform your structures into frosted masterpieces. So you have from the 4th to the 11th, they recommend leaving ornaments in place for at least 24 hours after the snapshot. Every ornament counts toward your score. Stacking all your ornaments on one property won't cut it. So this was interesting. The point structure is where all the changes came into, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Based off of previous season ornament challenges?
I'm sorry. What's the question? Sorry.
The point structure for the ornament challenge, that's pretty much what changed, right? As for this season.
So that, let me see, I'm reading it first. Yes. So it used to be that every single structure, you know, if you had a property with multiple structures, they all scored as though they were on a separate property. And so this will be the first season where they're scoring those differently.
Right.
Yeah.
And an important note here, it's the last ornament you apply to the property that's the ornament that's treated as the first ornament. Yes. So that's the last the last ornament you apply is what gives you the 100% of the points that are available for that structure. So it's important for people to understand the type of ornament you put on, or the type of structure you put the ornament on, is dependent on how you get your points. If I'm reading this correctly. So.
And I know it sounds counterintuitive and it sounds confusing that the last ornament counts as the first.
Yeah.
But it's not. It makes perfect sense. And I'm glad they did it this way because, like, for example, I have 20 houses on a property in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really like changing out all of those ornaments. So I'm kind of glad I don't have to change all of those out anymore. But I would hate to have to remove all 20 ornaments in order to apply one, say one really rare ornament to get full credit for it.
Right.
And so instead of having to remove all 20, I just have to remove the last one and apply the rare ornament to the last one and get full credit for that one. So
right.
I'm probably not explaining it very well, but it does make perfect sense. And I'm glad they did it that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, for those who do have the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ornaments, it certainly makes the challenge, in my opinion, makes the challenge a little bit easier, because now you're only really relying on what gives you the 100%. So I mean, to me, it kind of, I think it makes it easier. Like I said, I haven't really participated in ornament challenges. So,
well, one thing that is really difficult when you have multiple buildings on a property is it's really difficult to figure out which ornament you're changing.
mm-hmm.
You know, because there's 20 houses and 20, so it's just complicated. So if you don't want to deal with that complication, you don't have to this way. But also, to me, it puts the focus back on properties, so that if you have 1 million ornaments, you almost need 1 million properties in order to compete. You know,
right.
It's not like you can just own 5 huge properties and
put a bunch of ornaments on. Right, stack a bunch of ornaments on them.
Yeah.
So then they're also introducing this supply-based scoring system for mint numbers. So the rarer the ornament, the more points you get for it. So this is also new this season. So if you have an ornament with 20 or fewer mints, you get the most points. And then you can see the rest of the breakdown from there. 21 to 100 is 4 points, 101 to 500 is 3 points, and so on. So I think that's pretty cool. And it really emphasizes the importance of having rare items, and it makes those rare items valued much higher than what it was before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the supply-based scoring.
Hello, everyone.
Coach Fox, what is up?
Hello.
What up? What up? I had to jump in. I was trying to hold off, but I just had to say, man, that makes so much sense, because some of my low mint assets has been selling like
Oh,
fast.
nice.
And
That's
I've been
great.
away and I didn't realize what's been going on. So I'm like, oh, I gotta go reevaluate some things now. I'm catching up on the show.
Oh, that's
So sorry.
wonderful.
Well, but
That's
sorry
great
I'm
news.
late. Yeah, well, I don't know. I got to see which ones were sold, so I got to check that out. But I do apologize. I was late. My head is cut off, but I'm here now. I do apologize.
All good. All good. Glad you made
no
it.
problem, Coach. Glad you're here. And I apologize to chat that I'm not keeping up very well with with chat yet, but I'm gonna get better.
Well, I'll do this for y'all. Since I'm late, y'all two focus on the show, and I'll chime in, and I'll focus on the chat.
Oh,
so they can blame me and not you, Joe Shaq. And I don't want them blaming you.
Coach,
You know,
yeah.
Gotcha. Teamwork.
Yes.
So I'm trying to see what Swirly says here.
Nothing to you see, which is
I'll die on a hill, but it is absolutely BS that Upland takes 90% of your collection. and structure score, which has nothing to do with UGC, which is a whole nother argument. This has to change. Super unfair. I hear you, sorry.
Yeah, so I
And
think
my
that has to do with this creator collaboration bonus, if I'm not mistaken. It's because they reduced the score by 10% of the total possible points if you are
oh
placing structure ornaments that you created yourself. Which, I mean, I have created structure ornaments also, but they don't apply in frost season. So really has nothing to do with me. But I certainly understand the argument. And I agree. I agree because part of the reason
By 90. I'm sorry, he said it reduced by 90. My fault, sorry.
it will be reduced to 10% of the total possible. So yes, they are reducing by 90%. And I think, I mean, I'm okay with a small reduction. I'm not okay with a huge one, just because of the fact that I've always been about the user created stuff. Not that the Upland stuff isn't bad, but there is so much more thought and artistic design put into UGC items. Number one, and number two, if you penalize the creator because they're using their own ornaments, then that kind of negates the reason that they created. I mean, half the stuff that I create for myself. I'm not creating, if I sell it, great, it's fine. If not, I don't care, because it's something that I'm making for me. I'm not making it for everybody, I guess.
right, no,
I
exactly.
make it for me first. And if it happens to sell, then great. And I'm glad somebody else got some enjoyment off of it.
Exactly.
So I think that, and literally anybody can do that. It's not something that's just reserved for a few. If you put in the time and you put in the knowledge and you put in the effort to make it happen, you can make it happen. So literally anybody can do it. So you shouldn't penalize the ones who have, in my opinion, at least not that much.
Well, especially because it's not like we're doing it for free. It's not like, oh, we're so, because I've heard people say it before, like the UGC people get to use free stuff, and it's like, no, there was nothing free about it. There
Correct.
was buying huge piece of land and having massive spark to build a huge factory and a huge showroom on a different huge piece of land, and either make the Blender files or hire somebody to provide those files, and then go through the whole submission and approval process, and then use your Spark to create them, and then take hours upon hours of your time to move these things around. I mean, there's nothing free about it.
Absolutely, 100% agree with that.
I think the word free is the word wrong terminology. I do feel that something needs to be done is unfair, but then on Upland's behalf, you do have to kind of make. And I don't make files. I do pay and spend for them, right? So I have my own stuff. So I'm on both. I'm looking at both ends. So it would be a lot harder for a newer player that doesn't have those resources to even compete with UGC, with the crew that make their own. So there's a thin line. I don't think this is it. Maybe not that steep of a percentage, but something needs to be done and still be fair. With this new situation, anybody could come in, get a property, have a structure, and have five. If we're talking about the structure or the ornament challenge. I just want to
The
make sure.
ornament challenge.
Okay, all right, I feel you, but yeah, it's a thin line, but yeah, it's not fair to the UGC creators that's not really given a fair shake. So something needs to be done. Definitely.
Michael Kohler says the goal of UGC in Upland's sense is that creators produce to sell, not to use it on their own. And that may in fact be the case. And I accept it if it is. But I can certainly understand the argument from the UGC side also.
Yeah, and I guess another point that I would make to this is that, along with the same point that I made earlier, that literally anybody can do this if they put in the effort to do it. But it also, where did I lost my train of thought? Hang on. But it's not something, in my opinion, I've spent almost 5 years doing this. And when, the one thing that I think is kind of misunderstood by new players when they first come in is that I'm going to come in and I'm going to be able to do this, get it done quick and be able to generate things and all this stuff. And what I think people really lose is the fact that this is the long game. It is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not something that's going to be done in a few months. Most of us who are creating or who are doing those types of things have been doing it for years, not overnight.
Right.
I agree with you. It takes time. You have to earn that position. So
yeah,
feel for you, buddy.
100% Swirly. I agree with that. Yep, me too.
So I guess, there's another argument that we can make what we like and we can use what we like. It's just the only line that Upland draws is that we can't use them in the competition. But we should be clear that we can still make the stuff we want and use it. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be able to use it in competition, but we certainly can use what we make. We can use it to decorate. It's just the question here is whether or not we should use it in competition. And
yeah, I guess I can see both sides of the argument for sure. I see it from the UGC standpoint, and I also see it from Upland standpoint, where that there could be, and from the people who think that or deem it to be an unfair advantage, which very well might be.
If you look at it this too, if you got 100 mints or something and there's 90%, reduction, you still got 10% of 100. So if you look at it really with numbers, I get it, but you still, if you got 1,000, that's 10% of 1,000 if you put them on, or 500. So it's something has to be done. It's just both sides has to feel that is fair, if that makes sense.
So,
and I actually, I agree with that also, Michael, and I agree with Vape High Guy as well, because, you do want to support other players, and we are trying to build an economy, and it's not just about the creators. The economy gets built by everything, map assets and construction, and it's all of that stuff that is building the economy. So I agree with both of those.
I asked myself this question, and I don't take part of the ornament challenge like that unless it's something easy, maybe 10 here. But if it wasn't here, would I still make my asset? So I guess my question to Swarley, if we didn't have this competition, would you still make your assets?
Yeah, and I think all the creators would say yes to that. At least in my opinion. I would.
When I came in creating what I created, they didn't have no challenges for it. I came in because I wanted to create it and find a way that's, get it out in the metaverse. All this is extra. I'm not saying it's irrelevant, But again, we got to see how far we come, and how far we still gonna go. They might change it. Hopefully they listen to this and see this discussion, and they make them think that some of the UGC people feel slighted, and it's a real emotion.
Yeah,
I digress.
Agree. All right. So moving on, let's talk about the Frost 5 challenge.
Could I interject something real quick, please, Mass, before
absolutely.
we move on?
Yeah, absolutely.
In chat, there's continuous questioning about our last topic, which is the totems.
Okay.
And the changing of protem to stem. And so I think it was Vape that was asking, so Vape, the totems currently use protem, and protem is just like it's a temporary token that is going to be changed to stem. That was always the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be converted to stem at a 1-to-1 basis. And so it's been years that we've been waiting, and we've been using this temporary token called protem and feeding our totems with it. But what Upland is saying is that time is now coming to an end, and we're going to do the conversion of protem to stem. And after that conversion happens, then our very same totems that we've had all along, they're going to start using stem instead of protem. So hopefully that clears things up.
And that's something that's been in the roadmap all along. Just for those of us who have been here since since the totem started, that has been something that's been in the roadmap since the very beginning. They've always told us that protem was just a placeholder token until stem was released. And from my understanding, stem will become an actual token at some point, just like Sparklet. And that was
I don't know about that one.
That was also part of the roadmap a long time ago. So whether that actually happens or not is up for grabs, because it hasn't been mentioned in a very long time. But it has always been the process that protem would turn into stem at some point.
No, they won't sell more totems.
No.
They out of there.
Nope, they will definitely not sell more totems.
Did I miss the conversation about totems?
You did.
A little bit, yeah.
All I gotta say is, oh my god! All I gotta say is, man, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I am not ready for these 30 days. All right, I digress. I'm sorry.
Do the potions still work, Sir Mitch? No, the potions do not work. Those only work. Those only work when Upland does a potion event, and we're not having a potion event, so they won't work.
Yes, correct.
Oh goodness gracious! I'm stuck with a couple of them. What else in the chat?
Swirly, in this case, I truly believe that they are not going to sell more totems.
Yeah, good point. Good point. According to the totem, or the original totem post, they are not going to sell more totems.
No.
Right.
Subject to change on a regular basis, but as of right now, the answer is no. Correct. Yes.
Never say never. Point taken.
Never say never.
Never Very say true. Never.
Yep. Absolutely 100% facts right there.
This came out of nowhere.
Yeah. All right. Frost 5 challenge. This is the decorator decor challenge coming up for Frost season. This one's interesting.
It is.
It's very interesting. So what they're asking is for you to tell a story on a property using only 5 assets. So that's going to be interesting. So the rules are 1 property, 1 structure, 5 map assets, nothing else. Strip your property down to just the house and place exactly 5 map assets. No other ornaments, no extra decorations, nothing on the property besides your structure and your 5 pieces. And any property you own in Upland is eligible. So this one's going to be interesting. Again, not really something I'm into, but I thought it was cool. Just because normally normally when they do the decor challenges, it's, if you go look around the eyes on the map in Upland right now, and look at some of those properties, we're talking thousands of assets on some of these properties, thousands. I can think of, what is it? The the aliens with the pink flamingo that's out in Las Vegas. There's got to be thousands of assets on these properties. So to try to
shout out the area average.
Yeah. So to come up with something and try to tell a story with 5 assets, that's an interesting thing right there. That's going to be an interesting to see how everybody comes out with that.
I already entered mine.
Already? Oh yeah, this is a breeze for you. This is a breeze. 5.
Yeah,
5.
right.
Well, it's only 5. It's only 5 assets, so you just, it's the easiest decorating I've ever done.
Right? Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. That's got to be the easiest decoration anybody's ever done. And literally with 5 assets, there should be so many people entering this contest that it's insane. And what that means is it's going to be, in my opinion, that means it's going to be really hard to judge.
I agree with you.
How that's going to come out, right? Because there are some creative people in this game, and I can't wait to see what the winners are and what they did to make themselves stand out with 5 assets. I think that's going to be pretty interesting.
How did you enter this contest? On social media?
Yes. So what you do is you've
right
got
here.
to,
yep.
Yeah.
So you must share your build publicly on X. You tag at Upland me. Use the hashtag Frost5 challenge, and you must include 3 screenshots with at least 1 POV mode screenshot, so street level. Include your property address and tell us the 5 assets that they used. So
that's awesome.
So if it's not posted on X, it doesn't exist.
That's awesome. I just want to shout out Upland, man, because they're doing a lot of more things like this to make Uppies and even this to go viral. And we want Upland to bring in more people. So I just want to shout out Upland personally and let people realize what they're doing. This is their way of making Upland and us as a community go viral. So enter this contest and share it. It's very important. We're the community that's building it. So I just wanted to point that out to everyone.
That's a good point, Coach. And that that makes me want to say that on X, Upland is also doing the Uppy gift challenge. Do you have that in queue, Mass?
I do not have it in queue, but I can put it there.
Like a lot of people shit on Upland, but I want to point out what I see from a building standpoint. Like they're working their tail off, and this is one of the ways of getting to us as a community to help them.
Yes, and there's also this in Sparklord. Have you noticed Sparklord 69 posting on Upland on X?
I haven't. The Spark Lord 69. There's so many new Uplanders. I mean, post them, and I'm proud to see everybody, but I haven't noticed him personally.
Well, he does the most amazing art. Let me. Can I? Is it okay to share my screen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
We gotta start. Maybe we should start highlighting social media posts, huh?
I'm trying to find that announcement.
Hey, this is live. Don't mind us. This is how we really get down. So you're part of the family. You watching this. So don't act like y'all got everything together in the audience either. Because I know some of y'all. I know some of y'all.
Okay, so I'm not sure how to make it show on the screen for everyone to see.
Hang on.
Okay.
Let me remove mine. Add yours. There you go.
But like, you see this guy, and he says, Sparklord says, Thursday morning walk along the waterfront in Seattle, and that ferry just pulled in from Bainbridge Island. Sparklord counted 3 cranes working on new builds near the Space Needle.
Mm.
And he does this. Like, here's another one. Wednesday morning, and Sparklord pulled over this Liberty oil station outside Cleveland Heights. Dude at the pump next to me asked if the Charger was mine. Told him it came with the neighborhood. He didn't believe me. Fair enough.
It's a lot of great content. Yeah, I've seen some of them. I just don't remember his name, but yeah, I've seen some of them on X.
Yeah, and they're just delightful. They're amazing. So everyone, maybe consider finding Sparklord 69 on X and following him and promoting his work, because I really enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Sparklord 69. Everybody go follow him. Give him a like or something.
Right?
Yes. Good shout out.
I'm
going to put my
letting me have a moment there.
So this is the Uppies Everywhere GIF contest. It is we want to see Uppies take over X. Search Uppies directly in the GIF search on X and use them in replies, memes, and conversations. Using a GIF search helps boost visibility and recognition across the platform. So you open X, open the GIF search and type Uppies, select an Uppie GIF and use it in a reply, meme, or post. Tag at upland.me or uplandme. Use the hashtag Uppies, and no entry limits. The more creative and natural the use, the better. So this runs through Monday, March 9th. You got 4 more days to do it. And just, so go in there and select your Uppie GIF and tell a story and be the new Sparklord.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people using like Uppies pictures and animations and entering this but that's not the contest. The contest is you need to, at least as far as I understand it, you need to go into the GIF. You need to be on X, search for the GIF on X and use one of those.
Good call out. Good call out.
Yeah, so very
how do y'all like Upland, forcing us to do more social media work? I mean, we did a little bit with what was it? What was the game on X again? What was it?
X-Stacks.
X-Stacks. We did a little bit with that, and it seems like they're getting back to the point to get a little bit more traction. Do you think it's needed? It's going to be welcome? What's your view on it?
I mean, honestly, I think it's awesome because the more exposure we get on whether it's social media platforms or whatever platform they choose to go on, I think the more exposure there is, the more new players we're going to get. The more new players we're going to get, the better the economy is. So for those of us who are creators and doing our thing, we want the economy to improve, and in order to do that, you have to have new players. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of OGs that are swapping the updates around amongst each other, which doesn't help the economy. It just I give my upix to Shaktilyn for a structure ornaments, and she gives them back to me later for a cart. What difference does that make? That's not helping the economy. So we want new players, and I think that this is a way to generate new players, the easiest way to generate new players.
Cost efficient way, cost effective, because it's free for us to do it, and that those funds could go to other developments. So I agree.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Great point, Coach. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So they're saying that all entries will be reviewed by the Upland team using POV mode. They're looking at composition and use of space, visual storytelling, originality, and how it feels to walk past on the street. So that is something that's kind of new too. That whole walking down the sidewalk thing and looking over and seeing what's there and what kind of story is being told from what's there. So, yeah, I think it's going to be cool. And they're picking 5 winners, so that's also more than they have in the past as well. So,
and it's neat. This really opens it up to new players. This is a big chance to compete like an OG.
Right.
Yeah. It's really like
sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, if you don't have 5 ornaments or 5 structure ornaments or 5, I'm sorry, not structure ornaments, but 5 map assets. If I produce any map assets you like, you come hit me up and I will give them to you. You don't have to, I won't even charge you for them. Just come get them. Because I want to see somebody win, and I want to see what kind of story they can tell with 5 assets. So,
yeah, and this really opened up the door for the creativity, right? It's not about how many assets you have; it's about how creativity. Then you just open up that door and say, "Come and get them for free." So it's no excuses. No excuses.
And as they said, this challenge is not about who has the most; it's about who has the most in the least. Who sees the most in the least.
Get creative. Use your head. Think outside the box.
Right?
Yeah, it's a great twist.
Yes.
So
it is.
don't forget, it's got to be on X. If it's not on X, it doesn't exist. Tag at Upland Me and use the hashtag Frost5 Challenge. You have until Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific time on March 11th to get that in and enter that contest. It literally should be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entries. It should be hundreds.
Yes.
I'm on
very, very excited about that. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that is going to be cool.
My problem is I have to find a property that doesn't have 500 assets on it. No, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I used one of mine in Buenos Aires that I had done nothing with.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
That's another problem for the OGs, I will say, because if you trying to win and you get that eye, it might be somewhere you're really not even building. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. It's like,
Oh, so this one thing is they're not going to give an eye for this.
Correct. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Thank you for pointing that. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, but they are giving away quite a bit of upix. So
a lot, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some big upix up for grabs for this one. So, very cool. All right, so what's next on the boards? We got, we had service structures. We had. Let's talk about service structures. You want to talk about service structures? Let's do that.
Let's get it out there, and we can go in the construction hub after that.
Right. So we had volume 34 of service structures. Almost hard to believe that we've been doing this. This is the 34th time that we're doing this, but so this one's so the new ones this time are the corner barber shop, which I thought was kind of cool. Looks pretty decent. Would look nice on a corner property. I guess my question is how many different ways can you come up to make a barbershop? But but we know of at least 2 so far. So, but this one looks cool. I like the sidewalk. I like the this. I think this one's. I like this one better than the other one. So this one's pretty cool. The neighborhood market, which I was actually happy to see because I don't have a property in my neighborhood that I build on that's big enough for a large superstore or anything like that. So for those of you who are working with limited property size, this one's cool. And I really do like the fact that they're putting the sidewalk structures around these now. The sidewalk is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the quick rinse self-service car wash. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one.
Out of all of them, that's the one I like. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah?
Out of all of them. Yeah, that's the one I like.
So we already have a car wash, but this is another car wash.
Right. This one. So we have a auto car wash where you drive through, and this one is for the lazy uppies or for the non-lazy uppies that don't want to drive through and think a lot about their cars and want to wash them by hand because they have absolutely nothing else to do but go wash their car by hand. So yeah.
And the reason I like this one is I grew up using one of these car washes, so it brings back memories, right?
Yeah.
However, I need to throw the flag. I'm throwing a flag on these, right? Because I do feel some type of way with with Series 34. This 34, that's crazy because that's like my favorite number. My game, yes, 34. All right, so the reason why I throw the flag is this, right? So we get multiple structures, and they're better than the other ones, right? So more detail, and I see what they're doing, so I understand. So if you look in them, it's more visual when you get on point of view and things of that nature. However, we just launched the construction hub, and our structures that we bought prior to all these new 3D models is not as sexy as these, right? So now they're selling the sexy ones for USD, and we got the non-sexy ones in the construction hub. So that's why I had to throw the flag, because I feel some type of way, because ours is not sexy with the 3D, detail inside of them. And we went through 34 of them, 33 of them.
Yeah, this is number 34 right now. So
that's the only reason I'm throwing a flag, because now I feel slighted. Because now we don't got the 3D. You know what I'm saying? I got them. Yeah. I got like 85% of them, but now I'm looking at these like, what? So that's just my little rant, my flag moment. I'm sorry.
That's okay. And I kind of agree with that. But I can also see the evolvement of the structures. And I think that's a good thing. So, obviously, some of the structures are not going to be for everybody, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. So, but I think it's cool. But that's going to take us right into the construction hub that launched today, which I completely fell asleep on in that announcement because I was at work and had no idea it was live, and Shaq clued me in later in the day, and I was like, construction hub, wait a minute, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I had to go check it out, and I thought it was really cool. But the construction hub is officially live right now.
Man.
It is, and as they say, it is an important step forward, and I agree with that. I think that's something, it is something that has been talked about a lot over the years, and you even have a little thing on your card that says how much spark you have on the exchange that's never been used, and I don't know if it's still if it's going to get used on this or not, but it's really cool. that we have the construction hub now open. And with it, we are going to get some new vehicles as well. And before we go that, I just want to highlight these vehicles real quick. This is what's coming. You've got the front loader, the mini front loader, and the what was this? The excavator, the front loader, and the mini front loader. So all of us that played with Tonka toys when we were kids, man, these things are cool.
Yeah, they are. I have to admit.
And if you ever go to New Jersey and check out Tonka Land, I highly recommend it. It's awesome because you actually get to drive all of them and play around in a great big giant sandbox. It's awesome. So
wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. So if you ever have the dream of driving a construction vehicle, go to Tonka Land in New Jersey. It's awesome.
Okay. Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. And they literally have all of these. They're all life size and anybody can get them and move stuff around, and it's a lot of fun.
Wow.
But
I bet it is.
Super cool. So one thing I did notice in here is that the construction vehicle utility is almost here. It is set to arrive in blossom season, where construction vehicles placed on a property will begin providing construction time reductions. And I am all about construction time reductions. Love it.
No kidding.
I think that is super cool. So with that, each unique construction vehicle placed on a property will reduce the time required to construct one building on that property. Unique vehicle stack, meaning the more variety of the place, the faster your build times become. And we had talked about that a few shows ago about whether or not these were going to stack or not. And now we know they are definitely going to stack. Like vehicles will not stack, but unique vehicles will. And I think that's super cool.
I asked Squall in general today, if you have multiple builds on a property, how will it be decided which one gets the boost? And he said he thinks it will be the one with like the longest time on it. But he's not sure, so that's not confirmed, but that's what we think. Yeah.
So this I didn't even think about that yet.
Yeah. So this says that the larger construction vehicles will provide a stronger boost, while smaller vehicles will still deliver meaningful reductions. Exact boost values will be shared as blossom season approaches, but the core mechanic is confirmed. Construction vehicles will directly accelerate build times, which quite frankly is the most exciting news that I've heard in a long time. Other than the fact that we got the construction hub today, and I'll scroll back up and we can kind of talk about that one a little bit. So the construction hub is now live. It is in your 3-dot menu at the bottom of the screen. You just click on construction hub, and that will bring up a list of the properties available that people have put on there to request for builds for. It creates a construction contract. The property owner stakes their sparklets up front to fund the build, so they put their sparklet up to start the build, and then that means that the resources to get that build going are already secured. They do pay a 5% commission fee from the contract if they decide to close the contract before the build is complete. So I thought that was pretty cool. To keep the marketplace balanced, contract pricing cannot be set below a minimum, and it's a percentage of the suggested market price. This price is calculated dynamically based on two factors: the number of players who own the blueprint for that model and the construction cost of the structure itself. Models with fewer blueprint owners or higher build costs will naturally carry a higher suggested price. Now, I'm not sure what the math is on this, but there is some stuff out there that is cheap. And I mean cheap. So I don't know how well that's going to go, but it certainly is interesting model to do that with. Yeah, because here's a prime example: a barber shop. You get paid 840 UPIX for building that barber shop. I can tell you, I am not spending that much sparklet to make 840 UPIX. That's just not happening.
Well, it doesn't take any sparklet from you.
You just gotta provide the blueprint. No, you just provide. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I misunderstood how this whole thing works then.
Yeah. So all that you do is when you see a contract that you can, like any contract, if you're in the city, all you have to do is say that yes, you want to fill that contract, and you immediately paid, and the whole thing's immediately done. It's that simple.
Oh, so then it's up to them to finish the construction on it with the sparklet and stuff. Okay, I get it.
Yes, it takes no sparklet whatsoever on our part.
Oh.
All we have to do is hold the blueprint.
Oh, well, in that case, I take back everything I said. This is awesome.
I have a question, almighty queen of knowledge over there from Creedmoor.
Yes, coach.
You like that? You like that one, right? Yeah, I saw you up.
That really makes me like, now I really want to help you.
Okay, don't ask me to repeat it because I forgot it that much. But question, right? Because I haven't dove into this. So you remember those other blueprints? Because basically we're selling blueprints. So I haven't tried to like well, let me just continue with the question real quick. So you remember like the glass houses and those exclusive blueprints we got for like even modulars? Do we own them, and can we fulfill them and sell those contracts? Or are those exclusive ones? Like, do you remember the first time we merged our season pass and we got that one tower? So now can I provide that blueprint, or that's just exclusive?
No, I any blueprint that you own, you can fill a contract for it if somebody requests it. Now, I haven't seen that particular one yet.
Me either. So
I don't know, but technically, if you own a yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I know what all can be requested.
But it's new. It's new. I put you on the spot. I'm sorry. It's new. I was just wondering if you knew.
But I do have a couple of things that I noted today because I tried to play this construction hub game. And I flew to LA so that I could fill a contract there. And I did fill it, but it was a cheap one. And after filling it and receiving like 4,000 UPIX for it, I was then put on a 1 hour cooldown. And while I was on a 1 hour cooldown, I saw like a 17,000 contract go up in LA. And so I thought, well, dang it. I should have sat there waiting and ignoring the cheapo ones so that I could accept a fancy, expensive one. So I get paid well. So that's kind of interesting. There's a 1 hour cooldown. The other thing I did was I flew to Seattle to fill a nice juicy contract there, and it was already gone when I arrived. And so then I went back to LA, and I stubbornly waited in LA all day. And I was completely distracted waiting for contracts in LA, which prevented me from getting a lot of my other work done. And I never got another contract because they're filled so quickly. And so finally, I decided I was going to go ahead and fly to Singapore to fill some fat, juicy contracts there. But the flight took 3 hours. And by the time I got to Singapore, all of those contracts were gone. So It's
I had a
it's
similar
it's
story.
a crazy game. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting. Very
when
interesting.
because when it launched, I was so excited. I was in Vancouver. I tried to fill a contract for like 16,000 up it and try to fly to Stockton. By the time I got no Las Vegas, by city pigeon. I was gonna say city. I got him. I got him. It took me about an hour. It was gone. I'm like,
Mm.
oh my! And then it was a contract back in Vancouver. I'm like, oh my god! I could have just waited there, being greedy, but at work, just trying to do stuff. And so yeah, I missed out on some contracts.
Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing frustration with the fact that you can't you can't lock in a contract while you travel. So it's complete luck of the draw. Like if you decide to travel, you may or you may not get the contract. And the problem I think with that is that, like, if you're trying to build in Singapore, and nobody's hanging out in Singapore for the most part. So your contract sits there and doesn't get filled because people don't want to pay a bunch of money to travel and then spend 3 hours on a plane only to get there and find out someone else filled the contract. So for people wanting their contract to get filled and they're in a less populous place, it's you know,
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
I
rough.
can see some frustration there, especially if you're spending, 3,000 UPIX to get there, and
I
then
will
you
say
get
this
there
before
and
you.
it's gone.
I will say this. I did get mad because I do remember them stating that it's proximity. So whoever's closest will get that contract. So I remember that. And they did put that out there. So I get the frustration, but now we're learning how to play this game, right? I bet you won't do that again. Right? So it's new. So I get
yeah, but
it, but I can't be mad.
if everyone decides they don't want to fly to Singapore, then the people that need the construction in Singapore could sit there for days waiting.
Or somebody like me just go over there while y'all waiting, just fill out those stay a week and just fill out those contracts.
Yeah, providing you have the blueprints for them. That's yeah.
It's ways to play. So I get it.
Yeah, it's I guess it's kind of cool. I mean, I obviously there's going to be good things and bad things about it, but yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, it's
Choose
super
your contracts
cool.
wisely.
I love it.
Choose your
Like
contracts.
it's so exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very exciting. I think it's cool. I like it better knowing that I don't have to put any spark on anything. So that makes life a little bit easier.
We paid for the blueprints.
Right. Anybody in Buenos Aires with a neighborhood police station, you can make 17,100 UPIX right now.
Wow.
If you're in Buenos Aires, that's a nice juicy one.
That's another segment too, and while we on talk about where the contract's at.
Right.
You never know. Somebody might get some UPIX if they're in that location. Shout out.
So Wolf just showed up and said he's packing for New Orleans.
Safe travels, my friend.
That's exciting.
Yep. New Orleans meetup. And Wolf is the traveling guy. He's every time
goodness.
Every time I hear about him, he's somewhere else. So
right.
He told me he'll unpack his bag. He just leave it in there. Just because he knows he's gonna leave in like 2 weeks.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I do want to shout myself out. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'll make 49.
Woo! Happy
Real
birthday.
life.
Happy
Appreciate
birthday, Coach.
I thought you was about to sing for me, Shaq. I swear, I thought you was warming up the pipes.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that after the show. Wink, wink.
Got you. I won't miss
And Mesme. There were 3 people. It was Mesme and Coach and someone else.
Oh yeah, Mesme birthday on the 6th too. It is. Happy birthday, Mesme.
I thought there were going to be 3 birthdays during the meetup. and I don't.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I don't
Yeah,
remember who else. Yeah, there is somebody else.
yeah.
I think it is.
City Pigeon was telling me that. I know my grandson's birthday's tomorrow too, so that's where I'm going. I'm traveling.
Wow.
Traveling to
Wow.
hang out with my grandson for his birthday. So,
How old?
he will be 10.
Okay.
Happy birthday, grandson.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. Happy birthday.
yeah. So that'll be
That's
fun.
2 songs, Shaq. That's 2 songs. You got to record it for. Wait, wait.
Wink, wink.
Man, oh man. All right.
Yeah.
So what else we got? Anything?
Huh. The meetup starting tomorrow with City Pigeon in New Orleans. We briefly talked about that, but shout out to them who's going. Safe travels, have fun, network, take a lot of pictures and
I was
videos
gonna
and
say
share with us.
pictures and videos. That's what we all want.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Can't wait to see the
anybody that get a picture, a selfie with Wolf that's there, I give them an asset. You got to
Oh,
take
there
a
you go.
picture with Wolfie. So Wolf,
There
go
you go.
high. Go high, Wolf.
We also
You know he's
have
not hiding.
we also have the talent show tomorrow. Talent
Oh,
Yes.
that's
Safari,
right.
listen to
Yeah.
your talent
Yes.
at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern, in the Real Now to LA Theater and Spatial.
That'll be
So,
awesome.
and I'll be one of the judges, and yeah, I look forward to the talent show. So come and show your support if you can.
And that has been something that has been in a long time planning. So big shout out to Testafari for that, because she has been doing that for a
Yes.
long time now.
Yes.
And so it's going to be awesome to see that all come together. I'm hoping to be at my location that I'm traveling to tomorrow by that time, but we'll see. But that's going to be super awesome. So I really hope everybody comes out and supports that effort, because she has put a lot into that.
Yes.
And it should be really awesome.
Yes.
Great
That's
member of
right.
the community and a lot of hard work putting this together. So.
Very much
Absolutely.
so, yes.
Absolutely. So I guess before we go, I do want to talk about racing a little bit, because we did do some racing today right before the show. So we want to get that out there. Again, big shout out to all the sponsors that sponsor the Ultimate Racing League and the Upland Racing Series. But today we had some crazy races going on today, and Foreskin coming out with the ultimate win. Batistu grabbing second place, and Akapropi grabbing third. The boards got shaken up a little bit. City Pigeon stayed in first place. He was in a first place tie with Crowley 27, but Crowley was not able to make the finals this week for the first time in the Upland Racing Series championship. Finishing 16th, dropped down one place into second, all by his little lonesome. And then Batista moved up a couple of places and grabbed third with that second place finish today. Quade 18 still up there in fourth. Cal Trading Co. in fifth with a fifth place finish today. Cal Trading Co. Put on a great performance in the qualifying heats. Just a super good race all around. But it's so much fun today. It was a great track. Big shout out to the track owner, because it was awesome. Team challenge, AVG, the Flow Riders, they moved up ahead. Neo VMAX Motorsports. I said it could happen before the races started, and it absolutely did. So now AVG with two teams in the top four, and it's the top four teams that make it to the Genesis Team Challenge during Genesis Week. So they are sitting in a very good position. Still, Neo VMAX Motorsports still only 21 points behind them. Could still jump in there. We have a lot of racing to go between now and then, so this board could potentially move around quite a bit. Team Tug and Bets was able to extend their lead up to 141 points over the AVG Agitators, but the Agitators still put up a ton of points this week, along with Gen X Racing, who also was able to. They were the only team this week to get all 4 racers into the semifinals, so they were able to put up some pretty good points as well. But the Flow Riders making the big move this week, putting up 85 points and moving ahead of Neo VMAX Motorsports into that 4th place position. As I said, we are in St. Row coming up. That qualifying started today. So get out there on that track. Now, with that said, I will say there has been a couple technical issues with the track. I've had a couple of reports. It hasn't been multiples of the same issue, but I do want everybody to be on notice. If we do end up getting lots of track problems, then we will end up switching the track and extending qualifying. This week, the Commissioner's Corner show won't happen until Tuesday. That's usually a Monday night show, but because I'll be traveling on Monday, it will be on Tuesday this week. But our races do return to the Friday time slot, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, 10:30 a.m. Pacific next week for the final week of frost season. And if we go back to the leaderboard, just real quick, it's that red line right there that you're trying to get your name above, because those top 12 drivers are the ones that move on into the finals for frost season. And it is tight around that red line. And I mean very tight. There is only 10 points separating number 12 all the way down to the 15th position. And 10 points is not anything to overcome in this racing series, just the way that our points system is working. So anybody down in that 15 up spot still could make it into the finals. Today, Akapropi, this was he made a huge run at it today, got into that 3rd place position, now sitting in a tie, or I'm sorry, now sitting in 13th position all by himself, and only 2 points out of being above that qualifying red line. So still has an opportunity to get in. JR Wheels, JH2271, Tune 307, A696, and even Vape High Guy still with a chance to get in there, along with KO Ninja, very easily with a good finish in week 5, could jump up into that position. So next week is going to be very important for these drivers, especially the ones that are hovering around that bubble, trying to get into the finals for frost season. So, man, next week's racing is going to be absolutely crazy. And we are on this track that started today. This is St. Row in London. This is an A696 track. It's basically a home track for AVG. So they are going to be looking to make some moves for this week, both in the team standings and in individual standings. We've got 25 nasty turns. We've got a couple of really good boost spots. We've got a couple of really carry spots, especially when you get around turns 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then again around 21, 22, and 23. Those hairpins are ridiculous, and they are killers. So you really have to be careful going around that section of the track, those 2 sections of the track. You've got a nice boost section there in the backstretch between 16 and 20, basically. But you got to be careful, because those little tiny turns and those really fast cars can still make you skid out. So it's going to be important to understand where you are on the track and what's happening with your car. So should be a crazy race. I'm super excited to bring this race to everybody next Friday at our normal time slot, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So everybody make sure you come out and check it out. And that's racing for the week.
Awesome.
So anything else? Coach, you got anything? You good? Coach, you still there?
It's muted.
Oh, it is muted. I tried to unmute him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can
You hear
hear
me?
you. All right. Yeah.
Wow, wow. I want to give you your flowers, man. That was very thorough, bro. Like you've been, if people just now tuning in and just realizing, we got racing and stuff, man, you've been doing this for a while. You know what I'm saying? And you're very thorough, and that's where you're at the position you're at now. So I want to give you your flowers, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You got
Thank
those
you, sir.
numbers down. You make me want to go and race, and I know that's not gonna happen. But yo, I have
Dude.
for some fun, but y'all too serious, man. I got other stuff I'm trying to do, but I just wanted to say
Yeah.
seriously, bro. Like I've been watching you, I'm getting to know you, a little bit more personal. Being on the show with you, you thorough, bro.
Thank
You
you
really
very much.
are.
I
So
appreciate
salute
that.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us, I think, for this evening. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and tuning in with us. Too Stupid will be back with us next week, and hopefully he's not too disappointed with our show for this week. So
Hopefully.
We'll see.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.